the Honorable President, Jacob Zuma, the royalty present here today, heads of state and diplomatic corps, religious leaders, distinguished guests, program director, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here today and I am humbled to be the one representing all of Tatomkhulu's children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Tatomkhulu means grandfather. And like all South Africans, and maybe people around the world, we are proud of his achievements and we want to make him proud. Tatomkhulu was a true leader who led by example. He was a true servant of the people. His mission in life was to make the lives of the underprivileged better. Like everyone who has been touched by Tatomkhulu, we have learned some valuable lessons from him, and I would like to share some of those lessons. He truly cared for his family and children. He shared what we had as best as possible with all those that he loved. He provided for his family, which included members of his extended family. He took it upon himself to make sure that all of them had a good education. For many years in Qunu, during his presidency, and after he stepped down, he made sure that the children of Qunu had a beautiful Christmas. They came in thousands to his home, and he made sure each one of those children received a gift and a meal. And the numbers grew, and it became almost impossible for him to cater from his own pocket. Businesses around Umtata and the Eastern Cape contributed food and gifts. His own gesture of kindness made all those around him want to also do good. That's the lesson he has taught us. We also want to do good because we have seen him leading by example and doing good. He commanded respect. When Chris Hani was assassinated in April of 1993, the country was on a knife's edge and could have easily slid into a civil war. He pleaded with the country, black and white, to remain calm, and the people listened because they respected him. He was truly humble and remained accountable throughout his life. This made it possible for him to make other people accountable. During his presidency, Mr. Louis Late took him to court. There was no need for him to do this or subject himself to this, but he was prepared to be subjected to the rule of law. This provided us with two lessons, a lesson in humility and a lesson in accountability. People always talk about his achievement and his serious side. Tatomkhulu was a lot of fun to be around, and he was a great storyteller. He had a great sense of humor. During the past year, we truly missed hearing his voice. At dinner, he liked telling stories about his childhood, and he preferred the one where he would poke fun at himself. One of his favorite stories was of him chasing a piece of chicken with a fork at a dinner table with the family of a girl that he wanted as his girlfriend. He would say, and you've heard this story many a times, "Gee whiz, man, every time I stabbed the chicken, it jumped, and I was sweating and embarrassed because I wanted to impress this young girl." He laughed heartily as he reminisced about his youthful days. Another side of Tatomkhulu that most people do not know about is his mischief. One story comes to mind. We were in Maputo for Gracina's wedding. We were sitting at a patio waiting for lunch to be served. In came a young lady, one of Josina's friends, with a mischievous smile and a twinkle in his eyes. Referring to Ndaba, he asked, "So, young lady, what do you think of my grandson?" "Don't you think he is handsome?" She replied, "No, Papa, I think he's too young for me." He retorted, "In the African tradition, a man can never be seen as younger than a woman." He was also a very strict grandfather. He made my younger cousins, Muso and Daba, pick up clothes after they've finished preparing for school or for bed. He was a disciplinarian who prepared us to be better people in our lives, with or without him. Tatomkhulu cared immensely for the less privileged. He was driven by common decency. He set up the Children's Foundation so that his legacy of caring for the future of our country can continue. He encouraged captains of industry to build schools and clinics throughout rural areas of South Africa. He recognized, he embraced, he celebrated humanity in every single person that he encountered. At a formal dinner hosted by businesses, he stunned his hosts when he requested to greet the staff who prepared the food for the banquet. Everything had to stop. He was escorted to the kitchen and he shook the hands of all staff members. That's the humility of a man that we see lying in front of us. One of the greatest lessons is the story of his own life, a story of resilience. Besides his political career, which does not need to be retold, here lies a world-renowned leader, a son of Africa, who grew up from these rolling hills and the rural areas of Umvezo and later Qunu. He went to school barefoot, and yet he rose to the highest office of the land. He became the President of South Africa and the greatest statesman in the world. This is a message he communicated all the time. It does not matter what your background is or your circumstances. It is within each of us to achieve anything we want in life. These are just of the many stories we have learned from him as the head of our family and as a leader. We shall miss you, Tatomkhulu. We shall miss your stern voice when you were not pleased with our behavior. We shall miss your voice as you told us stories of your childhood. We shall miss your laughter. We'll carry lessons you taught us throughout our lives as we make you proud. As South Africans, we must stop pointing fingers, but rather we must live by example as you did and do something positive for South Africa. Your love for children was immeasurable. We love you, Tatomkhulu. Dlomo Madiba Yemyem, Ngolomsila, Zondwa Zinjaba Zingazumenza nto. Wena kaGadla, kaNxeko, kaHlango, kaDlomo, kaHala, kaMadiba, kaTato, kaZondwa, kaNdaba, kaNgubengcuka. Ugqatso ulufezile. Ulale ngoxolo Mthembomhle. Usibulisele kokhokho namathongo elikhaya. Siyabulela. Thank you.